Today our topic is the Stoic view on fame and popularity. The Stoics, who were ancient philosophers, had a very interesting way of looking at life, and their thoughts on fame and popularity are especially worth considering. They believed that things like fame and popularity are not as important as many people think. In fact, they thought that chasing after these things could actually make us unhappy. The Stoics taught that true happiness comes from within, from our own character and how we live our lives, not from what others think of us. They believed that we should focus on what we can control, like our actions and our thoughts, and not worry too much about things we cannot control, like other people's opinions, or whether we become famous. Let's start by thinking about what fame and popularity really mean. Fame is when a lot of people know who you are, and popularity is when a lot of people like you. These things might sound nice, but the Stoics would say that they are not reliable sources of happiness. Why? Because they depend on other people. You cannot control whether people like you, or whether they remember you. If you spend your life trying to get fame and popularity, you are giving away your power to other people. You are letting them decide whether you are happy or not. The Stoics believed that this is a mistake. They thought that we should not let other people have so much control over our lives. Instead, the Stoics taught that we should focus on being good people. They believed that the most important thing in life is to live with virtue. Virtue means having good qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. If you live with these qualities, you will be a good person, and that is what really matters. It doesn't matter if you are famous or popular. What matters is that you are living a life that you can be proud of. The Stoics would say that if you focus on being virtuous, you will find true happiness, because you will know that you are doing the right thing, no matter what other people think. Another important idea in Stoicism is that we should not be too attached to things that can be taken away from us. Fame and popularity are good examples of this. They can come and go very quickly. One day you might be famous, and the next day people might forget about you. If you base your happiness on these things, you will always be at risk of losing it. The Stoics believe that we should not depend on things that are outside of our control. Instead, we should focus on things that we can control, like our own actions and our own thoughts. If we do this, we will be much more stable and secure in our happiness. The Stoics also believe that we should not compare ourselves to others. This is especially important when it comes to fame and popularity. It is easy to look at someone who is famous or popular and feel jealous. But the Stoics would say that this is a waste of time. They believe that everyone has their own path in life, and that we should focus on our own journey, not someone else's. Comparing ourselves to others only leads to frustration and unhappiness. Instead, we should focus on becoming the best version of ourselves. We should ask ourselves, am I living with virtue? Am I doing the right thing? If we can answer yes to these questions, then we are on the right path, no matter how famous or popular we are. Another Stoic idea that is relevant here is the concept of Amor Fati, which means love of fate. This means that we should accept whatever happens in life, whether it is good or bad. If we become famous, that's fine. If we don't become famous, that's fine too. The important thing is that we accept our fate and make the best of it. The Stoics believe that everything that happens to us is an opportunity to practice virtue. If we become famous, we can use our fame to do good things. If we don't become famous, we can still live a good and meaningful life. The key is to accept whatever happens and focus on being the best person we can be. The Stoics also warned against the dangers of ego. Ego is the part of us that wants to be admired and respected by others. It is the part of us that craves fame and popularity. The Stoics believed that ego is a trap. It makes us dependent on the opinions of others, and it can lead us to do things that are not virtuous. For example, if we are too focused on being famous, we might do things that are dishonest or harmful just to get attention. The Stoics would say that this is not the way to live a good life. Instead, we should focus on being humble and doing the right thing, even if it means that we don't get a lot of attention. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, said that we should think of life as a banquet. At a banquet, there are many different dishes, and you can choose which ones you want to eat. But you should not be greedy or take more than your share. In the same way, in life, there are many things that you can pursue, like fame, money, or power. But you should not be too attached to these things. You should take what you need, but not more than that. The Stoics believe that if you are too focused on getting more and more, you will never be satisfied. Instead, you should focus on being content with what you have and living a virtuous life. Another Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, who was also a Roman emperor, wrote a lot about the importance of staying true to yourself. He believed that no matter what happens in life, you should always remember who you are and what you stand for. He said that you should not let fame or popularity change you. If you become famous, you should still be the same person you were before. You should still live with virtue and do the right thing. Marcus Aurelius believed that this is the key to a good life. It is not about being famous or popular. It is about being true to yourself and living with integrity. The Stoics also believed that we should not be afraid of obscurity. Obscurity means being unknown or not famous. Many people are afraid of this because they think that if they are not famous, their life will not matter. But the Stoics would say that this is not true. They believe that even if you are not famous, your life can still be meaningful and valuable. What matters is how you live your life, not how many people know about it. If you live with virtue and do the right thing, your life will have value, even if you are not famous. In conclusion, the Stoic view on fame and popularity is very different from what many people think. The Stoics believe that these things are not as important as we often make them out to be. They believed that true happiness comes from within, from living a virtuous life and being true to yourself. They warned against the dangers of ego and the trap of comparing ourselves to others. They taught us to focus on what we can control and to accept whatever happens in life with grace and humility. So, if you are worried about fame or popularity, remember the Stoic wisdom. Focus on being a good person, live with virtue, and don't let the opinions of others control your happiness. That is the path to a truly good and meaningful life.